Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So if you're just now coming back to the channel, I just bought this GSXR 750 maybe a couple weeks ago, and also look in the description for the links to all my gear, my gloves, my affiliate links, my website. Everything you can imagine is all in the description below. That being said, this is all about slow speed turns on a sport bike. So it's been a long time since I had a full-blown sport bike. So with low speed stuff on this type of bike, it's definitely more challenging than like almost any other type of bike. So even it's a little bit more just because you're leaned forward and the handlebars don't turn that far. So like my previous MT-09, the handlebars also didn't turn that far, but I was upright. And because it's upright with the handlebar, it just makes things easier. You still have to rely on the same principles like lean angle versus handlebar turning. But it is probably the most difficult low speed that you could do is on a full-blown sport bike like this. I've done low speed stuff, 16-foot circles on Gold Wings, humongous Harleys, adventure bikes, minis, supermotos, everything else I could do it within 5 minutes of practicing. But on a bike like this, it definitely takes me a little bit more to practice. So maybe I'd have to practice for an hour straight versus only 5 minutes. So either way, so a couple things I want to talk about for low speed. So on a sport bike, right, the handlebars only turn a little tiny bit. And when you start to turn a little bit, your forearm gets in the way of the tank, right? So you kind of need to over-rotate your wrists. And you're not going to be using the front brake, so you kind of over-rotate, and you got to be very sensitive with the throttle, like giving a little bit of power, but everything is still reliant on the clutch. And obviously, if you have a DCT bike, or if you have a scooter, you don't have a clutch, and I already have videos about that. I have a whole video series of me riding scooters, doing knee down, low speed stuff, everything else. I have videos of me riding electric bike, an electric motorcycle here in the exact same parking lot, by the way, so I talk about that. And I have a video of me riding a 2021 Goldwing DCT. So if you have any of those types of bikes, go watch those types of videos. But I'm just talking about full-blown sport bikes with the clutch. So the main thing is the clutch. If the bike feels like it falls over, which you have to experience that sensation, you ease out the clutch a little bit to give it some power and stand it back up. If the clutch itself, or if the bike itself isn't powerful enough to do that, that's why you need to have the RPM raised to maybe 4,000 or something like that. So you always have power on demand, like it's always on tap, steady throttle. And then you just go in and out of the power with the clutch. So that's the main thing. If you're just doing some light, low speed stuff, like not that big of a deal, you don't even need the rear brake at all. You just need to worry about clutch and throttle. That's the basics for everything. So another thing with sport bikes that's different than any other type of bike. So on Harleys, Gold Wings, upright bikes, I could just kind of sit on the bike and just not really move my butt or do anything else. But on sport bikes specifically, like you can see the camera up here that's on my mirror. So with sport bikes, like I could do circles, like this is probably a 25-foot circle and I'm just kind of neutral. But I want to stay upright. I want to make the bike lean under me. So on a full-blown sport bike, I actually do a whole lot more body position movement stuff. Like right now, look how far I'm off this bike. I'm trying to stay upright and I'm really leaning that bike like far as crap. And I just took off my inside foot right now just because it's kind of in the way and it feels like it's really far back there if I leave it on the peg. So here's the challenge to everybody. So be the boss of your motorcycle. Jerry Palladino, which I flew to Florida and I did Jerry Palladino's course. I have a video about it on my channel and he has a video about it on his channel. So you can go check out me riding Jerry Palladino's course. I graded that course, if it makes any sense to even say this, as like a blue belt level course in my language, MotoJitsu. By the way, if you didn't know, I have 4 books on Amazon and my own app of drills you could go set up and practice yourself. So you're not just trying to make something up. You could actually start off at white belt, which is relatively easy stuff, and go all the way up to black belt, which is way more difficult. But anyway, I challenge you guys, because you guys are on Harleys. So I challenge you guys to get a full-blown sport bike and then do any of the drills. Do your own course on a sport bike, because it is easier on a big old Harley with humongous handlebars and long wheelbase and a lot of low weight. Like, it is easier for sure. But if I want to see those guys, or anybody that's good at low speed stuff, I want to see you guys do it on a bike like this. Because I've always said, and I back this up every time I do it with all the other videos I have, I've always said, once you get your skill high enough, the bike becomes irrelevant. Sure, there's more challenges and every bike has its own pros and cons, but if you're blaming the bike for anything, you're just lacking skill. Like, you're not that good yet. You might be really good on your own bike, got it, but that doesn't mean you could jump on any bike. Once you could jump on any bike and do the same thing, then I'll be impressed. But until then, you're okay. So I don't have any cones, I don't have anything like that, but I'm just going circle, circle, circle. So I'm probably doing right now like a 20-foot circle, like leaning super damn far. But the main thing is, I always want to stay upright. I don't think about counterbalancing. I just think about the bike's going to lean and I'm going to stay upright. So if this thing happens to fall, I'm pretty much going to land on top of the bike. So if you're starting to do big U-turns or just starting to practice low speed stuff, just think about leaning the motorcycle. That's all you got to think about. You stay on top, let the bike lean under you. It's kind of like you're disconnecting yourself with your hips. Like, let the bike lean. Look, I'm upright. I'm just leaning the bike. And by the way, this is another thing that's very specific to sport bikes. So let me stop real quick. So one thing that's very specific to sport bikes, a lot of people say, I try to do your white belt drills, I try to do your drills, and I just get the full lock. On any bike I've ever had, I could do all my drills on, and I don't have to go to full lock. Now think about that. What you need is lean angle. And lean angle is the main thing. Like everything I just did, my handlebars weren't near full lock. That's because I'm leaning the bike over like this. And that's like a very common problem. So first, people ride too slowly. That means the bike will be more upright. Then they have to rely on the handlebars. And they realize, holy crap, these handlebars don't move that far. I get the full lock very quickly because they're going too slow. They don't have enough lean angle. So you actually have to go faster to make the bike lean more. It's not about full lock. You don't have to get the full lock on any type of bike to do my MotoJitsu drills. I'll say that again, because I know a lot of you go out there practice. There's a bunch of pictures of you on my app practicing. I love seeing this stuff. It's great. But I'm going to say it again. No matter what type of bike you have, you do not have to get to full lock in order to do any of my drills. You just need more lean angle. Lean angle is king, okay? So you have to go a little bit faster. So when I say low speed maneuvers, I don't mean 5. That's too slow. Look at, I'm going to go 5 miles per hour. So I'm going 6 miles per hour. I have like no lean angle, and now I'm only relying on my handlebars. And look how big the circle is. It's like a freaking 50-foot circle. This is too slow. So when you're doing low speed stuff, I'd mean 8 minimum miles per hour to like 15. When I say low speed, I just mean like under 15. There's no drills that I do where I'm going like over 20, something like that. Maybe 25 for like knee down stuff for brown belt, but other than that, nothing's more than 25 miles per hour. But I don't mean going 8 miles per hour, or I don't mean going 5 miles per hour rather. So look at, this is too slow. I have no lean angle. So now watch, if I just pick up the speed, I can make the bike lean more. And now look, I'm going way tighter. Whoa. Did you guys see that? I almost dropped the bike right there. My front tire ran over this, I don't know what it was. I think it was right there. It was like a little bit of oil and paint at the same time. My front tire slid. Let's see if I could see it. That's actually kind of cool. My front tire slid like 6 inches. Oh, look at my tires, by the way. I'm all the way to the edge of both sides of the front and back tire just by doing low speed stuff. But let me see if I could find that freaking slide. That was a hell of a slide. Yeah, look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, this whole thing right there. That's how far I slid. The bike just went zzz. So, I was too worried about concentrating on what I was talking about versus actually paying attention to the ground you're on. So that's a lesson learned. Don't ride over oil with paint on it. That's going to be kind of slick. I'll move over to another spot. That's pretty awesome. Anyway. But yeah, you need more lean angle. So you have to go faster to make the bike lean. That's the whole point. You need to go a little bit quicker. Alright, so here's a big open spot. Lean angle. Lean, lean, lean. So I'm going to start doing some circles. Super far lean angle. I can't see the speed. Let me see. Okay, I'm going 10 miles per hour. Little bit of rear brake. Tiny amount. Lean that bike. You have to lean the bike far. Far, 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 far. So anyway, so that's the deal with sport bikes. And then once I actually practice myself more on this bike, I'll set up my black belt drills. I'll set up Crazy 13. I'll set up my drills, and then I'll show you doing my own drills on a full-blown sport bike. But everything I just said in this video is what I'll be doing, is what I have been doing for any bike I've ever had doing low speed stuff. And it's what I will be doing whenever I set up my own drills and start to be way more aggressive, like doing my Crazy 13 drill, which is my favorite drill ever. By the way, I have an app with all my drills on it from both of my books. You could just download the app and go practice, see what you could do. And a lot of people assume this stuff is going to be easy, like, oh, I could do white belt, no problem. Okay, please go and try it. And if you could do white belt 10 times in a row, then go to blue. If you could do blue belt 10 times in a row, then go to brown. Just keep going up. It's a tremendous amount of fun. But anyway, only thing I'll be doing different when I start setting up like Crazy 13 is I'm not just doing like one circle, one U-turn. It's like everything in one. So everything will be the same of everything I just explained, but I'll be moving way more aggressively. I'll be like actively very hard counter steering. Yes, you counter steer at low speed miles per hour. Anybody who says you don't, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm just a lot more aggressive, right? And Crazy 13, I'm going faster, so I might have to actually use the front brake a little bit to help slow the bike down and then transition to the rear for the turns and higher throttle and a whole bunch of stuff. But I just need to practice myself more on this bike before I start showing you that stuff. Just like I tell everybody, whenever I get a new bike, I start myself over at white belt, and I go all the way up through the belts just like any other rider would if they just heard of my program. Or if you get a new bike, I recommend starting over at white belt, and once you can do everything 10 times in a row, then go to the next belt. But to summarize, for sport bikes, the handlebars don't turn that far and you're leaning forward, so you need to over rotate your wrists. It's all about the clutch and really make the bike lean, and you stay on top of the bike, let the bike lean underneath you, and just get out there and practice. You're not going to get any better watching my videos. You're not going to get any better reading every book you can. You're only going to get better by going out and practicing and maybe washing out your front tire like I just did a 7-inch slide right there. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, and I have 800 plus videos on my channel, and there's so many videos about low speed. There's so much stuff. Just type in low speed MotoJitsu and all the videos will pop up. You can watch videos forever, but I always want you to triple the amount of time actually on your bike practicing versus watching my videos. So get out there and get it done. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.